This podcast is intended for adults 18 years and older. It contains explicit language and sexual situations. All thoughts and opinions expressed are of our own and not of those of any specific group, employer, or individual, and is not intended to take as professional advice.
Welcome to the Foreplay Podcast. Join the journey, experiences, and sexual adventures of two high school sweethearts navigating through the swinging lifestyle as millennials. Come along for the ride. Dare to play?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Foreplay Podcast. This is Bella.
This is Jase.
Today's episode is all about Desire, Rivera, Maya. It's going to be a review of the resort. The last time we were there was in 2022, and we just got back from our little trip at Desire at the beginning of September of 2024. So, updated review, have a lot of different things to share and our experience and all of that.
So we are actually still in Cancun, and we are still here for a couple more days. And so, yeah, it's kind of fun. We feel like we always film in our house. And so it's kind of fun to record one of these while we're on the road.
Yeah, we have our little mics right here. Actually, it's kind of funny because we're using these wireless mics, and we typically put them on a microphone thing, and they are connected to two forks right now.
Yeah.
It's funny.
We don't really have any other option of something like good to hold them with. But the sound quality should be the same for you guys. It's just very funny for us to hold a fork for the next, 45 minutes or so while we record this.
You used a fork once. Turns out forks are fucking everywhere.
I wonder how many people know that song that are listening right now.
If you know, I'm not even going to say who it's by. If you know it, then you know. And we are friends. Before we get into the review, if our content helps you out at all and you plan on booking a vacation to Desire, we would greatly appreciate if you'll consider using our links to book your next trip at foreplay.com/desire. That's the number 4OURPLAY.com/desire. It's completely free to you, but it helps us out a ton, and it helps us be able to continue to make content like this to help others on their lifestyle journey. We also have other travel destinations like cruises and Temptation Resort and all of that. And so if you want to book any vacation, you can go to foreplay.com/travel, or if you're just interested in Desire, you can go to foreplay.com/desire. And again, that's the number 4OURPLAY.com/desire. And let's go ahead and hop into the Desire Riviera Maya 2024 updated review.
All right, let's start with demographic. I would say it is right there, perfectly true in the swinger demographic. It is probably the 45 to 55 with skewing on both sides. One thing that is to note about Desire is couples only. They said they have some options with unicorns, and so they implied a single female, and I'm guessing that's like a room of 3, but it's generally a couples only resort. So if you're a single, generally you are not able to go to Desire.
This time that we went, again, it was at the beginning of September in 2024. So I don't know if it was just the timing wise, maybe people are going back to school, not really taking vacations at this time, but we did feel like there weren't as many people closer to our age this time around. We're like early 30s, and we did feel like some of the younger ones there this time. Last time that we went, there were I would say some couples at least who were a bit closer to us in age, but it did feel this time it wasn't as prevalent that we found. But also, and we'll get into this a little bit later, it could just be the big change in the resort of how much bigger it is now, so maybe it's just more difficult to happen to come across people and see people. The demographic definitely seemed like mostly lifestyle people. Because it is couples only, it does kind of tend to be more in that lifestyle demographic and lifestyle community. It isn't only for swingers though. So if you're wanting to go and you're just wanting to experience, a sexy vacation, it's definitely not only swingers, and it's not necessarily marketed as a swinging lifestyle resort. It's just very lifestyle friendly. And then also they have the playrooms and stuff there. And so it definitely does tend to sway towards people who are in the lifestyle, but you don't have to be in the lifestyle to go to the resort and to enjoy your time and have a great time.
I feel like I would say probably 90% lifestyle, and the other 10% are people who are very aware of the lifestyle from the people that we met. Compared to like a Temptation Resort where lots of people just go and they're like, oh, I just thought this was a no kids place.
Definitely. I think I don't know the exact percentages, but it does seem like a majority of the people are in the lifestyle. I'd say maybe 80. We didn't talk to, 80, like 100% of the people who were there. But I mean, the people who we talked to, a majority of them were in the lifestyle or at least knew of the lifestyle. We talked to one couple who weren't lifestyle, but they just they knew what the lifestyle was. They just didn't partake in activities. So most of the time people know what it is. Like most people aren't going to Desire because they found it on Expedia and wanted to see what it was like to go party.
The one thing though that did overlap with the whole entire demographic is, and it's the same as last time, I feel like the people at Desire are such kind, nice people. I feel like every person we had a conversation with, it was just, and that feels that way in the lifestyle as like a general rule, but Desire, I don't know, people just were so kind, happy to be there, having fun, laughing, smiling. Like everywhere I saw, I feel like I just saw people enjoying themselves, and that's a really good sign of the place you're at and the people you're around.
Especially lifestyle vacations, it's typically like that. Everyone is just so happy and excited to be there. We even talked to multiple staff members who started at Desire not too long ago. They're probably within their first 6 months, and they told us like where they came from before, and it was usually either a family resort or family travel or family hotels, that kind of vacation. And they say it's so much different because people who are in this demographic, the lifestyle demographic, are just happy, fun, tip well. There's not really complaints, because it's not like
just there to have a good time and enjoy vacation for what it is.
Same thing that goes for like the cruises and stuff too. Usually people who work on the cruises also say that it's different. It's just easy because lifestyle demographic is fun, easygoing, excited, party. And so it's keep that in mind, that you're just always going to meet amazing people in the lifestyle in general, but especially at lifestyle vacations.
Yeah, and Desire fits that perfectly. Let's next jump into length. So the length is basically whatever you want. I do believe it's a 2-night minimum. You can't just do 1 night, but 2-night minimum. And I mean, we met people there that were there for 10 days this time. Yeah. I feel like what we see the most is people staying like 5 to 7 nights. I feel like that was most people, but I mean, you can do whatever you want to do. What me and Bella did this time personally was came to Cancun a couple days early. We stayed at Desire for 2 nights, and then we actually got a night pass and stayed basically a whole 3rd day, but just didn't spend the night there, and then are back in Cancun for a few more days. So we were just kind of doing like a short little trip because we are actually going to Desire Cruise here in a few days. And so we just did a small little pop-in, but I would say for the most people that we met were going, 6-7 nights.
I think if you're going for the first time to see what it's like, I probably wouldn't do less than 4 nights.
I totally agree.
I think 4 to 6 nights, 4 to 6 nights would be a good starting point to see how you like Desire. And most likely you will really like it, and most likely will want to come back. But I do think that for your first time, under like 3 nights is a little too fast. 2 nights definitely I think is too fast. I wouldn't say people who go for the first time should do the 2 nights and the day pass unless you're doing maybe Temptation and then Desire, or maybe you're doing Desire, Rivera, Maya, and then you're going to go to Desire Pearl.
Yeah, I agree with something like that. But it does take you a second to kind of acclimate into a new place and see how the flow of things work. So I agree. I would do probably 4 nights minimum for your first trip. Make sure you like it. And then, but I mean, you could definitely do a week for your first trip or whatever you wanted to do.
I think 5 would be a good starting point.
But the one thing we will say is I would recommend doing it over the weekend. So like a Thursday through Sunday, Thursday through Monday, like that kind of range. I feel like that is going to be the best time. Sunday is the most turnover. Monday and Tuesday, I think, just aren't quite as busy.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, that especially Wednesday, but I would say Thursday through Saturday are like the busiest days. So if you're going to be there for, only a few days, those are the days I would try to be there because you're going to have the most people. They have some of the most fun like parties. The foam party was on Friday this time. So a lot of the times those things fall on the weekends as well. So just keep that in mind whenever you're booking.
Moving on to the size of the resort. This is completely different now. Last time that we went, it was in 2022, and there is now a whole new section called Eden, and it is completely updated. It's very modern, but also resorty. So it's like tropical modern isn't the word. It's just a lot more contemporary. It looks very much more upscale. Before it was just more. I mean, it's still nice, but I guess more.
It's like jungly and tropically, and this looks more modern.
So we did Desire Pearl also in 2022, and now with the new upgrades and the new Eden section for Desire Rivera Maya, it kind of feels like Pearl and the old RM put together.
In a very good way.
Yeah, in the best way.
Yeah.
Now with the new edition of Eden, there is 152 rooms total, so that's about 300 people, and the property is big, but not too big. You can definitely walk around easily. Our room was kind of right in the middle, where the new section started and the old section ended. It was past the old coffee bar, or no, the coffee bar is the same. It was like past the coffee bar, and you had to walk a little bit. So I thought that right in the middle was a really good area to stay in. I don't know if you can choose your room specifically.
I know that, I mean, if you like an oceanfront view and stuff like that, like you can get different areas in the property, and I'm sure if you ask and request for certain areas, they can probably try to accommodate that if it's open. We just were wherever we were, and that's how it happened to be where we landed. And I said it was nice because we had a quick walk to like the new section, but then we also could very easily walk over to, but the whole property is very walkable. So I mean, it really is very convenient no matter where you are. It's a fairly, I would say, to walk from one side of that resort to the other is what, maybe 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes probably.
Yeah, maybe 5 minutes
if
in heels.
you casually. Yeah, so overall, it is like a really nice size. The property is beautiful itself. I said it has that jungly feel and like kind of almost like a bungalow type feel in the older section, where it feels more modern in that Eden section. And so you get this nice contrast to me where you can kind of be in this more modern but then go into this more jungly, and I like how it feels. It's right there on the beach. The whole thing is along the beach, so you have the ocean right there. It's just a really beautiful property.
The beach itself, like, there's not really that much sand to walk anymore. It kind of gets stopped over where Eden starts. There's no sand to walk it. Like, it goes right up to the ocean. Whenever you're over at the lunch buffet area, there is the volleyball section, and we're going to go into the activities over there, but there is some sand over there, but you can't do like a long walk on the beach anymore like you used to be able to. So that's something to keep in mind.
I mean, there is still areas to walk on the beach. You just can't go for as far. You kind of have to do more laps walking on the beach if you wanted to. But
like back and forth.
Yeah, but you can still do a sunset walk on the beach if you want to.
Yeah.
Just not quite as long of a walk on the beach.
Now going into how everything is organized, it is, if you've been there in the past, it's just completely different now. We actually didn't even know that it was changed whenever we came. So we were expecting to see what we saw last time, and it being so new, we were really surprised and we were really shocked in a good way.
We also have people ask us, like, is there a good way to get there? Is it taxis or what? We had done some research online before we went in 2022 and found a company called USA Transfers. That's what we ended up using, and they were amazing last time. They were amazing this time. So if you guys are looking for like a reliable way to get from the airport to, the resort, or let's say you're staying in an Airbnb first and then you're going to the resort, they do a round trip, however you want to do it. USA Transfers has been really wonderful all the times that we've used them, and it's around 40-ish minutes to RM from downtown Cancun, probably around 20 to 25 minutes from the airport. So it's a pretty convenient little ride, but yeah, they have nice vans, they're air conditioned, very reliable, have always been on time, so we've really enjoyed our experience with USA Transfers every time we've used them.
So first you'll get dropped off in the little roundabout area from your driver, however you're getting there, and then the lobby is so nice. It is so different than what it was last time. The lobby is probably twice, maybe 2.5 times as big as the old lobby, and you walk in, it's all contemporary and modern and really nice, upscale. There's a gift shop as well that has not just Desire merch, but if you wanted to buy theme clothing or toys, they have that there. They had a lot of options. You go in, and then one of the staff members will kind of take you aside to get you checked in. One of the staff members will kind of take you over. They gave us like champagne or some kind of cute little drink and a champagne flute and a wet towel to wipe our hands, which is really nice. You get checked in. If we got there really early, and your rooms usually aren't available until about 3 o'clock. Sometimes it's available a little bit earlier. I think we ended up being able to check into our rooms at about 1 o'clock. And so if you do get there early, you can use the resort facilities and all of the things around the resort. You can go get food, you can go to the gym, go to the pool. So we do recommend to have a bag that just has your swimsuit and like a little change of clothes if you wanted to do that, because they will take your luggage and put it in the back, and it's super safe over there. Nobody can get back there, and they'll put your name and room number and all of that. And so then you can go and enjoy your time. You walk out of the lobby, and then you are greeted with just the most beautiful pool area. You can see the huge new pool, and before that there's kind of a outside hangout area. They call it the melange. I don't know how to say the word for sure, but that's the area that it's called, and there's a bar there. So you walk in and it just looks gorgeous. It's so much different than what it was before. Not saying that it wasn't gorgeous before, but I think we were just taken aback at how different it was in a really good way.
Yeah, because when you enter, let's say you're walking straight in, you're on like the left side, and the whole right side of the resort is the old side. And so yeah, you walk into it and you literally feel like you're at a new place, because you don't even see the old resort. Like when you drive in, like you literally feel like you're in a new experience. So you walk there, so you have the bars, you have that pool, and it's an amazing view. So if you see the pool and then you're gonna make a right to start walking, there's actually the spa on the right hand side, kind of up a little bit, and the spa is extremely nice. We walked in and got a tour of the spa, and they have erotic couple massages. They have a salon in there, so if you want to do your hair or your nails. They have a wet area, which we actually did on our second day, and we had such a nice time. They had a dry sauna, a steam sauna, and then a cold room, and then showers, and me and Bella spent a couple hours in there just like relaxing and connecting and talking. So the spa was really, really nice. So I know a lot of couples love to get like the massages and stuff there, so the spa, highly recommend.
On top of the lobby, there's now an elevator that you can get up there, and there's also stairs. And so if you can take the stairs, you can go up, and then you'll see the new hot tub area. And the hot tub is humongous. I thought the hot tub at Pearl was the biggest hot tub I've ever seen. I think this hot tub is just as big.
It's massive.
Or not bigger. Yeah, it's like this. It might be bigger than the original pool.
I don't know if it's bigger than the original pool. I don't think it's bigger, but it's close to the size.
It's very big.
It's a ginormous hot tub.
It's like a pool hot tub. It's not a normal hot tub where it's just a square.
Yeah.
It never was a square, but I'm just saying in general, when you're thinking of a hot tub, it looks more like a pool that is heated to hot tub temperature, and it has the bubbles or the jets that you can feel, and so that's really nice, and it's always at the same exact temperature. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like a really good
37.5, which I think is 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit,
exactly.
which is body temperature.
Oh, that's what it is. Yes. Okay. So no matter what time of the day it was, it still felt comfortable, and it's Cancun, so it doesn't get super cold or anything either, but there's cabanas up there where the hot tubs are, and there's lots of seating areas. There's a bar, there's a swim up bar up there, and then the really cool thing is it's connected to the disco. So it's connected to the nightclub, and everybody there calls it the disco, so that's why we call it the disco, but it is the nightclub. So you can go in there and then go straight to the nightclub, and then inside of the nightclub is where the playrooms are. And so the nightclub, super, super nice. It is bigger than the original nightclub there. There is a light up dance floor right in the middle that's in the shape of a circle, and then on the left side there is a long bar, and the drinks came out really fast. They were always really quick with that. And then there was seating all the way around the outside edges, and there had tables and stuff too. So we felt like there was always somewhere to go, somewhere to sit.
If you guys want to kind of like see visually what all this looks like, by the time this comes out, we will have a video review about Desire RM as well as vlogs, so if you want to see pictures of it and stuff, you can go to our YouTube channel, which we'll have linked down below, or you can go to youtube.com/4playofficial. That's number 4, OURPLAY official, and you can see those videos if you want to. But the playroom itself is also much bigger. It's prettier to me. You walk through and there's kind of these like hanging, what would you call that, like pieces
It's like
of
fringe,
wool.
but you walk through a door first. So it's inside of the nightclub area, but you walk through the door first and then you see the fringe.
Yeah, it's almost
curtain.
like, and like you walk through, and so you can kind of see through it, but not really, and then you open it and go through, and there's around 6 to 8 beds there, and it's just really pretty. It has like some lighting on the bottom that's kind of uplit, and it's just a really gorgeous, sensual feeling playroom. There is a liberator that's in the middle, which is, if you don't know what that is, it's kind of this wavy looking chair. That's how I would describe it. But yeah,
Lets you get in different kind of positions.
Yeah, exactly. But overall, I mean, the playroom just looks extremely nice, clean, beautiful. And then right next to that is actually a co-ed bathroom, which they have co-ed bathrooms in a lot of areas here, which is really nice. So basically you go in, there's a bunch of sinks in the middle, and then individual like closed door stalls. So it's not like you can see between them like a normal bathroom, like they're their own personal places. And so it's nice that
And some of them are urinals and some of them are normal. So
yeah, so it's nice that you can go in there like with your partner and like, oh, I need to pee. Like, I need to pee. You just go to the same place instead of splitting into 2 different bathrooms. I think that's kind of fun.
I think it's fun.
You
I think
are
it's
going
nice.
to a different bathroom, but at the same time, it's kind of the same place, if that makes sense.
And they had towels there. There was also a shower inside of the playroom bathroom or the nightclub bathroom, and it was a pretty big shower. It was like long, and they had mints in there, and they had mouthwash in there, and it was just, all of the mirrors were lit up. It was really pretty. It completely different than the original playroom from before the renovations. These are legitimate beds. Like these are like actual beds.
Yeah.
Like it has a bed, not a bed frame, but it's on top of not a bed podium. What is that called? It's not a box spring. It's like a nice, whatever you put a mattress on top of, it's like that.
Bed
And
frame?
Is it? Yeah, I guess it's like a bed frame, but there's not a frame in the back of it.
Yeah, it's just very nice.
Yeah, super nice.
Before we go over into the original section of the resort, I'm going to go through some of the times of kind of how things are open there. The hot tub itself is open from 1 p.m. to 3 a.m. And normally around 4:30 is when it gets busy up there. Me and Bella went every day, actually up there around 2 or 3, and there was almost nobody up there. It was really nice and relaxing and kind of empty. But around 4:30 is when it gets busy up there. And then as far as like the disco goes, people usually went up there after the show. The show's at 9:30, so we feel like around 10 or 10:30 is whenever people started to go up to the disco. And then I don't really know how late people stayed. It probably just depended every single night. But around 10 o'clock, 10:30 is when people kind of went up to the disco.
It seemed about midnight-ish. People were kind of clearing out from the nightclub area and going to do other things. A lot of times people just went out and straight to the hot tub area. But we'll go into that more with the flow in a little bit.
And there is some restaurants in the new section as well, but we're going to talk about all of the food at one point. And so now we're going to go back into the original section of the resort. So that's where our room was. So after you leave that main lobby and you make a right, you're going to enter into the original section. And right there is where our room was. And then as you keep walking, you're going to have a gym. There's going to be a bunch more rooms. And then you're going to get down to the other side. And once you get kind of to the end of the property, you will see a big pool, and that is what used to be the main party pool, but is now a quiet pool. And to me, the fact that now you have a party pool and a quiet pool is maybe my favorite thing that has changed, is having the option of being able to like, hey, I want to get away from the party for a little bit and go to this quiet pool that still has a bar open, all those types of things, is so nice. And you have to imagine, it's still a huge pool, because if it was the original party pool, it's still the same pool. So you just have this massive relaxing pool over there with all these cabanas around it. All of those cabanas are, just first come, first serve. It wasn't very busy most of the time. You'd go over there, you could have a nice drink, but that was one of my favorite sections now, because it also felt different because of that.
Yeah, I really like that too. We spend a lot of time also at the quiet pool, and at any given point in time, it was maybe 6 couples max over there with the whole entire section. And when it comes to just the pools in general, the cabanas and the pool chairs over at the party pool, it seemed to be reserved first for the premier members, and those are the guests who have memberships with Desire. And then it seemed to, after a specific point in time, it was opened up to more people, but it was hard to get a spot to sit at the party pool. Whereas if you go over to the quiet pool, it was pretty much, you could find a place to sit very, very easily. And there wasn't very much shade. That's the one thing that was hard for us, especially Jase, because there wasn't a lot of shady areas, especially in the pool. Right underneath where the swim up bar was, there was an
like an awning.
Yeah, so there was some shade there, but it's not very big. And so since it's sunny most of the time, it was a little bit difficult. And I wish there were more places of shade. I know that's hard though. I don't know how you would do that in a pool, but
yeah, there is lots of indoor areas, like, I mean, the restaurants and things like that you can sit in there, and obviously it is in the shade. But, and I mean, I guess the cabanas also, if you have a cabana, those have shade on top. So in the quiet pool, we were able to find a more shady area. But for us in like the main pool area, it is a bit hard to find a super shady area.
They also have umbrellas that are next to some of the pool chairs. But again, if you don't have a chair or you don't have a cabana, then you don't really have an area for that shade. There's actually another pool over in the Eden section that looks like it's a private pool for the rooms over there, but you actually can go in there. It is a public pool for all of the guests. And there is another bar over there. It's almost like a second quiet pool, because there's no music over there other than the music that you can hear from the party pool. And it's like an infinity pool. And it's really, really nice. It is connected to some of the rooms over there that they'll have some jacuzzis and stuff. But I don't think many people knew that you could go over there. We didn't know that. Actually, a couple that we met told us about it. And we were like, what? And so, yeah, if you're looking for an area that's not busy, drinks were really quick to get because there's nobody over there. Highly also recommend to go check out that area too. And it was very shady compared to, depending on the time of the day, it was completely shaded versus the party pool.
This podcast is brought to you by us, Bella and Jase. If you're going on a vacation, or maybe you have a gift that you want to give your other lifestyle friends and you're looking for lifestyle clothing, we have the best apparel on the market for you. We have not only clothing, bikinis, swimsuits, we have backpacks, tumblers, cups, anything that you can name, we probably have it. You can find that at foreplay.com/shop.
Let's say you're at a party, you're going on vacation, things are moving a little bit slow. Maybe you want some conversation to flow. Maybe you want to move stuff towards play. Well, we have the perfect game for you. It's called Foreplay the Game. It is a digital and physical lifestyle icebreaker game, and you can find out all about it at foreplay.com/games. That's number 4, OURPLAY.com/games.
If you don't have a lifestyle vacation planned, a resort or a cruise planned, why not? You can join us. You can find that at foreplay.com/playcation. We have not only information about the events and trips that we'll be on this year, but also other options for you as well. And it doesn't cost any extra for you to book through our links, but helps us a lot, helps us continue to be able to make this type of content for you. And lastly, we do offer coaching now. And so we do 2-on-2 relationship coaching for the lifestyle. This can be for if you're completely new in the lifestyle, not sure exactly where to start, but wanting somebody to walk you through it. Or maybe you've been in the lifestyle for a while, hitting a lull, or you just need some advice. We are there to help. And you can find that at foreplay.com/coaching. Now back to the show.
Most of the other things in the original section are more restaurants, which we will get to later. But there is still so if you guys have been to the original version of this, where the actual lobby was, that is now just kind of an empty lobby. They had a ping pong table in there, and then right outside there is where they did the nighttime shows. That area is still just open, but not much is really going on there. There is a little bar to the left that serves coffee and tea from around 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. There is a few cabanas in there. There's not really much music there. There's some shuffleboard, but there's that kind of section that you can sit or lounge around in, but we really didn't see very many people there just because, well, there's not really much going on in that section anymore.
So it's just an extra place to relax. We did hear that they are planning on turning the old lobby into a new gym. And we didn't talk about the gym. So we can talk about the gym real quick too. But the gym's really nice. You go in, there's all of the equipment that you would need. It actually was pretty busy during specific times of the day. About like 11 a.m. it seemed to be busy, maybe 11 until 2 or 3. It was pretty busy in there. And they had showers in there whenever you walked past. There was a bathroom.
Lockers.
There was a area where you could do almost yoga type things, all the machines. So really nice gym. Moving into the rooms, they have a ton of different types of rooms that you can choose from. We just recommend to go onto the website to check out all of the different types of rooms. The one that we had was a deluxe garden view, and ours was just on the first floor, so you can just open up and you can go straight out. Don't have to walk downstairs or anything like that. It was a really nice room. No like super crazy like bells and whistles or anything in the room that we personally got, but we don't feel like we really need that. We're not in the room very often.
It was a huge bed.
King size bed.
Yeah, tons of area to store stuff. The shower was huge. The air conditioner worked nice. I mean, really, really nice.
Yeah,
it was extremely clean. For me, it had everything I personally need. The other thing I really like is whenever you get there, they give you wristbands, and those wristbands, basically you use the wristband to unlock your door, so you don't have to carry a key around, which is also extremely nice because, a lot of times you don't even have clothes on, so having something that can open your door is like a really smart thing to do.
And it's not a wristband in the way that it looks ugly. It's like a bracelet.
Yeah.
It's a cute little bracelet that has the Desire logo on it, and from the back it has the chip.
They also do different color bracelet parts, like the little what's
Warding?
Yeah, that's different colors, and so if it's like a yellow one, I believe it was like your first time there. Ours was white because our second time there. The members had different colors, all that different stuff. So that's actually kind of nice because sometimes it's also like a talking point. So you're like, oh, you're bracelet. Oh, this is your first time here, something like that. But anyway, that's really nice. And then we did get to tour one of the rooms at Eden, and it was beautiful. It was super modern, so pretty. Had a nice jacuzzi in it in the room that we toured, and I mean, just huge and beautiful. But the rooms are all going to vary. I know that last time we were there, we went into one of the original rooms that also had a hot tub, and so, or a jacuzzi, whatever you want to call it. So all the rooms are going to be different, and what Bella said is correct. Just check online to see what those rooms look like. But every room, because we had one of the more standard rooms, and it was great. So I think any room you're going to get, you're going to be very comfortable and happy in.
The theme nights will be the same for a specific season. It's either for the year or for maybe half of the year. You'll just check the website to see what the themes are at that time, but it will be the same from Monday through Sunday. And so currently right now it was 69 Shades of Grey, which is the
69 Shades of Desire.
Sorry. 60, that's right. Can't do a copyright thing there. 69 Shades of Desire, which was a kinky fetish theme. There was a Greek-ish looking theme. I believe they called it Pleasure, Glow, Uniforms, Angels and Devils, Latin Night, and Wet Dream. The Wet Dream seemed to be like a lingerie type of theme. We saw a lot of women. We saw a lot of women wearing see-through or mesh or that really light crochet type of clothing.
Sheer.
And so that was the Wet Dream one. And then we were there for Angels and Devils, and then we were there for Latin Night.
And then I guess part of the outfits for Wet Dream. I would say that people definitely do dress up, but I would say people don't go all out. I don't know what percent I would say. I feel like at least 50% to 60% of people dress up. I wouldn't say it's like most people, but I would say, I guess it's a majority. It's more than less, but I wouldn't say most people go like really, really all out like you'll see at some places, but there is fun themes. People do dress up. I feel like the females tend to dress up a little bit more here than the males do.
Yeah, it's like they have an homage to it. It almost looks more like if you were to go to a club, like a lifestyle club, and do the theme on there, it was more on par with that, but maybe a bit classier because it's vacation. That's what it seemed like, versus if you go to other events where people are wearing costumes, we didn't see much of that, if any. I don't think I saw any crazy costumes.
Yeah, I know we've been places where I'm like, wow, if you didn't wear a theme, you might feel a little bit out of place. Or not like you're out of place, but like you're like, hey, should I have done that? I feel like here, if you didn't wear a theme, you would feel very blended in with everybody else. There was a lot of people there was lots of men that were just in a dress shirt or a funny t-shirt. I mean, it really was all over the place. So definitely there was themes and people were on theme, but not like a crazy amount. So now we're going to jump into food. One of my favorite parts of the entire resort. I do love the food. I feel like let's do all of the sit-down restaurants first, and then we'll go through the buffets. And we'll start with the new restaurants because they're in the eat-in section. So above that main lobby, across from where the nightclub is, there's a place called Kahlo. Kahlo is like Frida Kahlo. It's what it's a homage to, and it is a Mexican restaurant. And that was one of my favorite meals that we had. The actual ambiance in that restaurant is so nice. It's just so pretty. They do have a dress code there. I tried to wear some, they weren't sports shorts. They wore shorts, like nice shorts, but I was not allowed to wear those. So keep that in mind. Don't wear shorts to Kahlo. But the actual food itself was wonderful. The staff is always wonderful, but that restaurant had a lot of really good Mexican food, and yeah, thoroughly enjoyed Kahlo.
And it was very upscale, and it looks really nice in there. Sorry if you can hear honking. It almost sounds like a clown car or something. But anyways, I think it's like a bicycle. But that one does need, so we'll talk about the reservations as well, because some of the restaurants you will need reservations for, and they'll open up the reservations at a specific place. So this time, I don't know if it's always here, but whenever we went, you had to go to one of the restaurants called Eros, and at noon they opened up the reservations for that night. So you will go and make a reservation for whatever restaurant you want to eat at that night. Not every restaurant needed a reservation, but about half of them did. If you are a Premier member, you can do those in advance. You can reserve multiple days, but if you are not a member, then you just need to go and make the reservation the day of.
We got there at noon. We're not members. We got there at noon every single day and had no problem making a reservation for the time that we wanted, and that was just our experience. But Eros is where you went to make it, and that is the other new restaurant, and it is a Greek/international restaurant. And so during the daytime, I believe it's 12 to 5 is their hours. They have an a la carte lunch, and so you can just go and order different foods. It was very international. They brought you some chips and salsa, and then we had, I had some tacos, and you had some little in a wrap. And so there was several good things during the a la carte menu. And then at night, you do need a reservation for at night. And at night, it was just a really beautiful view of the ocean. It's one of our favorite places to sit in the resort.
In the daytime, too.
Yeah. And at night, they had a lot more Greek food with some other things like some pastas and stuff, but the meal was extremely good as well. I loved all the food that we had at Eros.
One of the nights at Eros, they did the late night snacks, so the late night food there. Usually it's over by the lobby area, at the outside, the melange area, if you will. I don't know how exactly to say it, but they had pizzas, BLTs, and tacos. The one thing that we had issues with that, it just took a really long time. And there was room service too, so that was another thing that you can do. You can call and get room service to get the same kind of foods. But whenever we did the pizzas we did pizza and tacos after we left the nightclub around 1 o'clock,
1:30.
maybe 2 o'clock one of the nights, a.m. It took maybe 30 to 45 minutes to get the food. So especially after you're done dancing and things like that, you kind of want to just grab food and go. So I do wish that there was maybe a late night buffet, or maybe they already have the pizzas out and you can kind of grab and go. But at least it's fresh.
Yeah, and it's included, which is great.
Yeah.
But it was everywhere else. I feel like the service was pretty fast, but that was relatively slow.
Arrows at lunch was a little slow as well, but you don't have to go eat there.
Yeah.
We found ourselves going more to the buffet areas during breakfast and lunch. And then also at lunch outside of Arrows, sometimes they had different foods that you could get there too, and it was more hamburgers and things like that, like quick foods that you could eat at the pool. So at the eat-in pool or the party pool, you can eat the foods that they had there because you could order it, or at the little outside barbecue area, you could get that and then bring it to your spot and eat it outside.
And so now we're going to go back to the original section. So all of these restaurants have been there. We're still going to go with all of the sit-down ones first that are, I guess they're all sit-down, but the ones that are not buffets. So there is one called Suki, and that is the Asian restaurant. And so if you go there at night for just the normal menu, you do not have to have a reservation, and they have things like sushi, they have baos, they have ramen, they have just a bunch of Asian inspired food. But if you want to do hibachi, they have a hibachi chef that will do a show and the whole hibachi fun stuff. That one you do have to make a reservation for. So that's the kind of options there at Suki. And then right next to Suki is a place called Salo, which is the steak restaurant. And they do a thing where they kind of show some, sexy videos and pictures. And it's kind of like this sensual feel. And then it's just like a, upscale restaurant, which we did not eat there this time. But the original time we ate there, the food was really good. But that's the other sit-down restaurant that you make a reservation for over there.
At the sit-down restaurants, you also have some specialty items that you can order that isn't included in the all-inclusive food part. So you can get different steaks and things like that, different wines, different drinks. Like if you wanted like top shelf alcohol, you can get all of that. With that, I will say we did get one specialty steak. We got a ribeye, and we didn't love it. So I don't know. I think that the all-inclusive food to me tasted better, but whatever you guys want to do. Just letting you know our personal experience with that. And overall, the food itself, we really, really enjoyed. We're about to go into the buffet area, but I don't really think there was anything that I didn't like at all. Everything was really good. The food now, I do believe, is quite a bit better than what it was 2 years ago. It seems pretty different. It feels more on par with Pearl. I remember last time we went, Pearl seemed to taste better, and now it's more similar, and it's so pretty. Everything is done really well. It feels upscale everywhere you go. Everything you eat, even the buffet areas, it just looks really nice.
I totally agree. And I will go into buffets now. So every morning there is a breakfast buffet, and you can go in. They have all sorts of, they have juices, they have fruits, they have an omelet section, they have, vegetables and some like cold foods.
They also had traditional Mexican breakfast foods as well, which is really cool.
They had, like some sausage, eggs, just random things like that. The breakfast buffet usually seemed to stay kind of the same with a little bit of variations, but pretty similar. And then next door to that is where they had the lunch buffet. The lunch buffet kind of has an all glass walls, so you can see out and see the ocean, which is really pretty. There they have desserts, they have ice cream, they have cookies, they have a bunch of different different foods. Some of them are Mexican, some they have rice, they have vegetables, they have meats, fish, all sorts of stuff like that. Then they have a ton of really great salads, like pasta salads, normal salads. They had some sushi. They had a bunch of just light things like that, an actual salad bar. They had hummus, just a ton of really, really great foods. I mean, I loved everything we ate there.
I found one of my new favorite foods ever is aguachile, which is kind of a spicier ceviche of sorts. And oh my God, their aguachile is so good. Every time that I saw it at the buffet, was good. On the menu, was good. Every single time, it was delicious. And so pretty. Again, if you want to see all of the videos and stuff, you can watch our vlogs or our video review.
And then for the dinner buffet, it's at the same place as the breakfast buffet, but here is completely different every single night. So they'll do a different theme. So maybe they have an international theme one night, or they have an Italian theme or a Mexican theme. But every single night, that theme changes. And so the dinner buffet is just as good, but it's just going to vary more than the other buffets, where the other buffets I feel like have a lot more of the same staples, where here the dinner buffet varies a lot, which is really fun.
And you can go to multiple places. I wouldn't do multiple sit-down restaurants just because it might take a long time. But one night we did go to the buffet area first for dinner and got a little plate, and then we went to our reservation at Arrows, and then we went back to the buffet. So you definitely can go multiple times if you want.
All right, now we're going to jump into activities. There is lots of different things to do. There is a bunch of pool games every day throughout the day. These are going to vary every single day, but it's essentially the playmakers get involved. They, get people up, get people talking, get people dancing. They do fun stuff. Those pool games are just all going to vary, every single day. In the main, and these games that the playmakers are doing are all in the main pool. In the big party pool, there is also water volleyball that they do most days. People really like to play that, enjoy that. On Friday when we were there was a foam party, which that was probably the most party feel of the entire week, was the foam party when we were there. People were really just having a nice time at that foam party.
We also did some yoga and water fitness. They had a area that had the schedule right outside of the party pool, kind of, that you could see. So you could see hourly what was going on that day. It showed what the theme was and what time the performance was going to be. So that was always a good place to go look and see the schedule for the day. There was paddle boarding and snorkeling that was also included, and that was over by the quiet pool where the beach was. They also had beach volleyball that they did too. We actually did go paddle boarding, and that was really fun. We kind of just more sat and did it.
It was windy that day, so it was easier for us to sit and almost do like you would with a kayak, but on the paddleboard.
I wouldn't be able to stand anyway. I'm really bad at that.
But I didn't see anyone else using the water activities, and I thoroughly enjoyed doing that. So I would highly recommend going out and doing one of the water activities because it's a fun break from the party atmosphere. So I thoroughly enjoyed that.
The ocean itself, so it's not a bad ocean or anything. I mean, obviously it's the ocean, but it's not super blue clear water. So that's just something to keep in mind. I don't want people going there and being like, wow, this doesn't look like super, super clear blue, what is that? Blue ass water.
But it's
still
a nice beach.
Yeah. There are a lot of activities that they do at the pools with the playmakers and those kinds of things, but I do wish that there were more activities to do in general, kind of around the resort. Maybe, I don't know exactly what though. I think it's because I'm used to seeing seminars or meetups or maybe little things like that, or group activities that you could do. So it kind of felt, if you were there for a while, to me, it felt like it could get a little repetitive just because all of the activities are only at the party pool. And then they do have a little bit of shuffleboard, and they had a cornhole, and they had Connect Four. But a little area, maybe a library area that had board games or cards, something like that I think would be really cool to do, or to have an area that had meetups or something. So then people could be more easily talk to others.
Even a pre-dinner drinks type thing could be kind of cool. At one of the bars, maybe at 6:30 they do cocktails, and it's a place to go sit down before dinner to meet more people. I think something like that could definitely be cool.
Yeah, and then so there weren't that many activities really, other than the ones that we talked about. And then another thing is there's not really any excursions that you can do with the resort. So, at Temptation, they have the boobs cruise, or there's excursions that you can book from there. But at Desire, it seems more like the point of going is to stay at the resort and to hang out with the people at the resort. And if you do want to do some kind of excursion, it's probably best to do it with a third party versus trying to do it there, because it didn't seem like there were really any options for that. That's not something that they were asking us if we wanted to book any excursions. And
I think the truth is, because of the price point of that resort and what that kind of resort is, I think that most people are going to that resort to stay at the resort.
Yeah, and to do the activities at the resort.
So I think it makes sense. Also, Riviera Maya is not in downtown Cancun, so there's not a bunch of shuttles, not places going there.
That was the other thing.
Temptation is in the hotel zone, so you have a lot of places that are in the hotel zone that can take you places, whereas this is kind of out. So I think most people, I think it's for a reason. I think that they're not doing it on purpose. I think most people don't want to do an excursion while they're there.
But some people do. So that's
Yeah.
what we met a couple who said that was kind of something that they were surprised that they didn't have any options for excursions. And so with that, just with Jason and I doing more international travel in general, if there is excursions that you wanted to do, especially if you're staying at the resort, for 7 days or something, and you want to do something a little bit different, we recommend looking at Airbnb experiences or just going on TripAdvisor. And then planning something that way. You can get a transportation and car to pick you up and take you to the excursion and do all of that. So it's not like you can't leave the resort. Like you're not stuck there. But a majority of the people do seem to just stay at the resort.
Yeah, and there is a really good bus system if you're going to some of the bigger areas like Tulum or Chichen Itza. The ADO buses are pretty nice, and
well, I wouldn't do that if you're at the resort. That would be before or after you.
Yeah, but if you want to do an excursion, stay a couple extra days and do some resorts, there's also ways to do it like that.
Right, yeah. If you wanted to do it after. But if you're wanting to do it during your stay, definitely book it through a third party.
And then the one thing also we want to talk in this section is kind of the flow of everything. So this was something I liked about Desire last time, which still does the same thing. I feel like every day people sleep in at whatever time they get up. People normally go to the party pool. This is the majority of people, right? They go to the party pool. I feel like people will party, and then around 4:30, a lot of people go up to the hot tubs, which is on that second floor, and people party at the hot tubs. And at 6:30, 7:30, people are normally at dinner. And then whenever dinner's over, the show normally starts at around 9:30, and they'll do a show outside, and then they have a live band after that, and then people generally go to the parties. So the disco, I would say people are there until around midnight, and then that's where it kind of splits off. Some people go to the playroom, some people go back out to the hot tubs. The hot tubs is a huge part, and it makes so much more sense this time because now the nightclub is right next to the hot tubs. Since most people are in the hot tubs naked, people will just leave the party. They have towels everywhere, they have cubbies everywhere, so you can put your stuff, you can get straight into the hot tubs. People are playing up there, and then people get late night food, and that's pretty much the flow every single day, which is really nice. I feel like it's a fun way to meet people, and you also know the areas are going to be less busy. So if you want to avoid where the main party is, you also can find the areas that are less busy. So I feel like that is a really fun aspect about Desire.
The shows were so good. They have really, really amazing performers. We were only there for the 2 nights. One night was a fashion show of sorts. They actually had to move it up to the club area because they usually do it down right in the melange area, the outside of the lobby where there was the bar and all of that. And because it rained so much, it would have been too slippery and not safe for everybody to walk. And so they moved it upstairs. But there was a singer. She was a performer. And the outfits are gorgeous. It was kind of like a Victoria's Secret fashion show in a way. Everybody was wearing these really big wings. And then we're there for the Latin night performance. And there was about 7 or 8 dancers. Oh my God, they had such beautiful costumes and so high energy. I don't know how they were able to do that for so long. They were going all out dancing for a full 30 minutes, and it was very entertaining, gorgeous. I was watching it the entire time, loved it, very entertained. The Playmakers sometimes are part of the show. They were part of the show with the fashion show, and I would say the Playmakers are kind of part of the entertainment just because they're always like around all day. They have so much energy. The Playmakers are absolutely amazing, and they are gorgeous. They are so pretty. They look like they were taken out of like a movie. So nice, so much energy, and all of their outfits were always really pretty. So I always got really excited to see what they were doing, what they were wearing, either at the night or even during the pool parties.
And they're also friendly. They're also friendly and kind. If they see, they just talk to you. I mean, just really great staff.
You can see that they've made friends with a lot of the members there. Like it's like they knew people by name. It was really cool.
I would say that like the staff is the same way. I feel like the bartenders, like one day, one of the bartenders, Bella had been drinking a lot of Diet Cokes with a tahini rim and a lime, and we just walked into the main lobby area, and he just brought us over a drink. He's like, Diet Coke with lime and tahini rim. And I mean, And all of the staff was literally just so incredible. I said, and the playmakers, the rest of the staff makes you feel that same way. We had like a little, he was our waiter a couple different nights at both restaurants, and he was one of the sweetest people I've ever met. He was so funny.
His name is Mario.
Yeah.
So if you guys go there, and you can ask for Mario.
He was just absolutely wonderful. And so the whole staff, everyone was just, I mean,
everyone treated you like royalty.
Yeah,
like, you just felt amazing everywhere you went. Everyone was so nice. The only bad thing was sometimes it was a little slow with the food.
But with how long, I mean, there's so many people there, you can't complain about that.
No.
You know, it was wonderful. So, yes, staff, wonderful. Next, we're going to talk about music. There's not really that much for me to talk about music-wise. It was good music. It was party music. I had no complaints about the music. On Latin night, they played more Latin music. I mean, I felt like the music was good. I felt like the DJs were good.
It's just a good mix overall.
The only kind of funny thing is that we would go up to the hot tub before it got busy, and at around 3 o'clock, they would play music up there. But you would hear that music while you would still hear the pool music, so the musics were kind of overlapping, which was funny.
Because it was like a softer music.
Yeah.
Before it turned into the hot tub party music.
Yeah. But still, the music, no complaints. Good music overall. So, yes.
This is just miscellaneous stuff that we didn't know exactly where to put, but needs to be talked about. It is a fully clothing optional resort in the specified areas. So the pool areas, the hot tub areas, and obviously the playroom, you can be fully nude there.
You can be naked walking around, like anywhere on the property you could be. Besides the art, like restaurants.
Yeah, you just like inside the lobby, you can be.
And
or
inside
when
the
you're
restaurants.
eating, yeah, you can be. Mm-hmm. But yeah, whenever you're walking, you can be.
Yeah, so you want to go to the beach, you want to walk from your room to the other pool, and I would say a lot of people are completely nude.
Yeah.
A lot.
I would say at least 50%, if not 60. Yeah.
Which I would say is higher than most places I have been.
And I know we get asked a lot about body types and all of that. All body types are welcome. You will see all different body types. These are normal, real, average people. It's like you're going to see some people who do look like the playmakers, and you're going to just see like every body type, and everybody feels comfortable. It's actually kind of nice being able to go there and seeing how many people feel comfortable being nude. It makes it probably a bit easier for other people who do want to be nude as well. And so that's really nice.
And it is good to know you cannot have sex everywhere, though.
No.
You are allowed to have sex, at all of like the beds upstairs, like the little outdoor play area, I guess if you want to call it that, where all those day beds and by the hot tub. I believe you're also able to have sex around the hot tub and in that hot tub area, as well as the playrooms. But you can't, like the main pool, you can't have sex. You can't have sex just on the lawn.
No.
You could probably get away with it at the beach or one of those things if no one was looking, but. You can't have sex everywhere, but they do have a lot of areas where you are able to play if that's what you are trying to do. We're only going to briefly mention this, but there is a thing called a Premier membership, and basically it's where you pay a certain amount and then you become a member, and then you get discounted rates on your rooms. If you are wanting to, they will go through and they will give you a tour, and they will have someone sit down and talk to you about those rates and if it's going to apply to you and what's worth it to you. But just know there is a Premier membership, and you do get some extra benefits along with that. Like Bella said earlier, the reservations, places for your seats at like the main pool. So there is some things that go along with that. So if you want to know more about that, whenever you go to the resort, they will ask you, they will take you on a tour and, show you everything and answer all your questions.
I will say it does feel a little bit pushy at times for either the membership or just for certain kind of things like around. Whenever we were sitting at the pool, sometimes they'll come over and they'll ask you if you want to get massage or photographs. For the photographer, there's a on-site photographer there that will do professional photography. So there are like different things like that they'll ask you about. And then the Premier membership, especially being your first time, it might be a little nerve-wracking because right after they check you in, or after they take your luggage and they kind of get your bracelet on, they'll take you over and then ask and kind of get you to go through the Premier membership presentation. So with that, we recommend to do it just so you can see what it is about. Everything is completely optional. You don't have to sign up for it. If you go through and you listen and you say no, it's completely okay. They do offer some extra things though if you do the presentation, which a lot of guests do find to be nice and helpful, either that be credit for the resort or at the gift shop or something at the spa, or we opted in to do a night pass. Last time we did a day pass to go over to Pearl, and so they do give you perks just to go through the presentation. So something to think about, just something to keep in mind. Just know you don't have to, you're not obligated to sign up for the membership or to be part of the membership, even if you do go through the presentation.
Yeah, and I want to say, I don't know if like pushy is exactly the word that I would use either, because like, for example, as Bella's saying with the ask you about a spa, or so with like the pictures, for example, they do come up and ask you, but if you say, hey, no, we're not interested, they don't continue to ask you. So it's not like they're being pushing away like, ooh, we really want you to do this, really want you to do this. I think they just offer those things. And whenever it's almost like when you go on a cruise and they say like, oh, do you want the drink package? And then someone else says, oh, do you want to go to one of these restaurants? I don't think they're like pushing you, like trying to make you do it, but you do just have people approach you a lot about doing extra activities that cost more money that are not included in the all-inclusive.
Yeah. So not pushy isn't the word. It's just, I don't think I was expecting to be asked it at the all-inclusive resort, and so that's just something to keep in mind that some people might ask you if you want extra things. So I know this was a really long episode, but we tried to do our best to include as much as possible to help people be more prepared going into these types of vacations or going to Desire. We know we get lots of questions about it, but overall conclusion, really, really, really amazing place. We love Desire. With the new upgrades and everything, it does feel like a completely different resort. We really like it. There were people who have said, and we do understand this, that now that it is bigger and there's more areas to go to, it doesn't feel as intimate. So it's a little bit more difficult to go up and talk to people and make connections, just because not everybody is at the same place at the same time like it used to be, where everybody was at the pool because there was only one pool to go to.
Also, the new pool is so much bigger and the old pool was definitely smaller. So you were kind of more in a confined space with that old pool, which kind of doesn't force conversations to happen. But when you're sitting right next to somebody, it's a lot easier to just, say hi. Whereas now I feel like you need to put out a little bit more effort to go up and talk to people. So I understand what people are saying by the intimate thing. But for me and Bella personally, who like larger groups and like the chances of making the most connections, I like having the extra space. So I can see on both sides why some people like it a little bit more intimate, but I like it personally, I like it a little bit bigger because it gives you more opportunities to make more friends.
I like it bigger as in the resort areas being bigger and having the options to go to the quiet pool or the party pool, but even though it's bigger, there's not that many couples there. So even at full capacity, there's 300 people, but with a large property, it still feels kind of hard to find people just because it's bigger and there's not as many people. Whereas if you go to an event or a cruise that has, like 3,000 people, there is a lot of areas, but there's also a lot of people usually at all of the given areas, if that makes sense. So that's what I was kind of mentioning earlier, where there could have been more people that were around our age. Maybe we didn't see them because the resort is a lot bigger now. Whereas last time we were here, we were able to kind of see everybody pretty easily.
Yeah, but overall, I would say that I think that Desire is just absolutely wonderful. I love all the new additions. I think having the new restaurants, the new pool, it just takes it to the next level to me. And being able to have the quiet and the original place plus the new place, it feels like the same resort, but also something different, something new. And I'm so thankful that we went. We will definitely be going back. We met so many nice people. And yeah, so I highly recommend checking out Desire if you guys are looking for, especially if you're looking for more of a lifestyle resort. I feel like it is a large lifestyle majority of people there and just really wonderful people. So yeah, just highly recommend Desire RM.
It's definitely a really good option for people who want to do a lifestyle vacation, and it's not too, if you're in America, it's not too far. It's just in Mexico. It's not really difficult to get there. with the new additions now, so it's even more nice than it was. It feels very upscale, and yeah, you guys, I highly recommend it as well. And again, if you guys are planning on going sometime in the future, we'd greatly appreciate if our content has helped you at all. If you guys used our links to book your vacation, you can find that information at foreplay.com/travel for all of the different resorts and vacations, or foreplay.com/desire for just desire specifically. And it's completely free to you. It just helps us out a ton. It helps us be able to continue to make content like this and to help other people on their lifestyle journey. And again, all of our vlogs will be up by the time you hear this. So if you want to see video footage of what our day was like and what the resort looks like from like our point of view, you can see that on YouTube. We'll also have the review up on YouTube as well, and that's on youtube.com/foreplayofficial or in the links found in the show notes below. And thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll go ahead and move into Bella and Jase's
Weekly obsessions. Why don't you do your obsessions first?
So my 2 obsessions actually have to do with our experience at Desire. Well, they're food obsessions. So, I think I talked about it earlier too. Aguachile. Oh my gosh, I am obsessed with aguachile. I could eat that. It's now one of my favorite foods ever, and I had no idea. I knew I loved ceviche, but I think it's the having a little bit more of the spice to it, and even a little bit more limey. It's so
I like it more
good.
than ceviche as well. I think it's better than ceviche.
So good. Oh my gosh, and the pico de gallo at Desire was so good every time. Everything was just a little bit extra limey in that. Coming from America, even being in Texas, where it's like we do eat a lot of Tex-Mex, it's just completely different. And it was so good. So aguachile, one of my obsessions. And my other obsession is Diet Coke with lime and a tahini rim. It's so good. It's the tahini rim for me. I just have to have it. I don't know if that's a normal...
And explain what tahini is in case someone doesn't know what tahini is.
Oh, so tahini is a Mexican spice of sorts that is a little bit spicy, a little bit limey, a little bit sour, a little bit salty. Kind of a lot salty, but you can eat it on top of fruit, which I really love. It's really good with watermelon, or you can get it with some specific drinks. I just like tahini in general, so I'll pretty much eat it with anything that's a little bit citrusy. So I thought that it would taste good with the Diet Coke and lime, and it does taste good. We didn't drink. I personally didn't drink that much at Desire, but every time I got a drink, it was typically a Diet Coke with tahini, and then if I was going to have alcohol, it would be with lime and vodka, and that's a skinny bitch drink. Hell yeah! And it tastes good, and I felt like I could taste the vodka a little bit, but Jase tried it and he was like, that's straight up just Diet Coke with lime.
Well, that's because I drink vodka water, which you really do taste it more.
Oh, so maybe it was skewing your,
I think so.
your taste buds.
Yeah, I think so.
And those are my 2 obsessions. And what are yours?
I have 2 as well. One is we saw a movie called Fly. Now, this movie was getting shown 2 days in IMAX, and I believe it comes out at the end of September, like on National Geographic or Hulu or something. But basically, Fly is this documentary about these people who do base jumping and the like flying squirrel wingsuit type thing. We went into this movie just because it's an IMAX, so it'll be cool. It is one of the most incredible stories to me I feel like I have ever seen. These people live life so much to the fullest. It's unbelievable, and maybe we feel some sort of way as these people live in this small community of, it's not stigmatized per se, but I mean people look down on it because it's such a dangerous sport, it's such a dangerous way to live, and it's these people that just love what they do and they love this life and they don't care what other people think. And we felt a lot of similarities between this group of people and people in the lifestyle, where you're in this stigmatized community, but it's something that you love and you follow your passions. And these people are just so alive. And I don't know Bella's ever cried that much in a movie. I was on the verge of tears 20 times during that movie. The ups, the downs, the happiness, the joy, the sadness. You couldn't have written a better real story. And I mean, it's one of the most inspiring, to me personally, inspiring movie to live your life to the fullest I have ever seen. I gave it a 10, which is only like 3 movies I've ever given a 10.
It is a documentary.
It's incredible.
So it's not like a made-up story. It follows 3 different couples. It ends up being 3 different couples, and oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. I would watch it again. I don't know if I could watch it like soon, but it's also one of my favorite movies now as well.
Yeah. So when I say weekly obsessions, I give you movies. If you're gonna watch one, I would watch this one because it's just it makes you want to really live your life to the fullest and just absolutely obsessed. My other weekly obsession is we have a friend who lives in Cancun, and whenever we got here, she took us to a restaurant, and it's Yucatan style cantina, and basically she basically explained how it worked when we got there, and what they do in that part of Mexico is you go and you buy drinks, and then they bring you little like appetizer plates of food, and they just keep bringing more and more food, and you pay for the drinks, and then they give you the food, and it's such a fun atmosphere. And then they play live music, and the food was so good, and we got to try so many like traditional things that we've never had before, and it was just such a fun experience. And so I don't know exactly what to call. I guess like the Yucatan cantina style restaurant. That's my weekly obsession. But it was so much fun, and it's always fun to do something with a local friend because they can take you places that you wouldn't go by yourself, and they can speak the language, and it makes it even that much more fun. So that was really kind of her to pick us up and take us to a restaurant. And so that's my other obsession. It was just so good. So that is it for this podcast. Really hope that helped you guys, make a decision if Desire RM is right for you. But we'll go ahead and end the podcast here, and we'll hit you guys with the outro. So we'll see you in the next one. Bye!
If you'd like to support the show, you can leave us a 5-star review wherever you're listening to our podcast. All our information will be listed in the show notes below and on our website, fourplay.com. That's number 4, OURPLAY.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we make videos and vlogs about the swinging lifestyle. Head to fourplay.com/YouTube to watch and subscribe. We have the ultimate adult party game for the sexually inclined called Foreplay the Game that's both digital and physical. It's perfect for breaking the ice and spicing up any party. You can find more information at foreplay.com/games. We also have the best swinger lifestyle, kinky, and adult humor clothing and accessories that you can find at foreplay.com/shop. If you're looking to plan a lifestyle destination, booking through our links at foreplay.com/travel really helps support the show and helps us be able to continue to create this type of content for you. We're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and more. You can find all our current social media accounts at foreplay.com/socials, and I have an OnlyFans, which you can find at onlyfans.com/BellaLunaVIP. We also have a Facebook group and Discord community and would love for you to join us. You can find the direct links in the show notes below. Lastly, we're on STC and Cassidy at Foreplay, and you can get a free full membership trial by using our link. You can email us at hello@foreplay.com with any questions or comments, or head to foreplay.com/ask. Again, all our information will be listed in the show notes below, and we thank you so much for listening to our podcast. See you in the next one. Bye!